Hello. So, pretty obviously, so hopefully, I'm Natalie. This is Rod.
Yeah. The Beast.
Well, yeah. So today we're going to talk about, like Dan said, two recovery-focused tools. First of all, we'll start off by talking about recovery and what recovery means in mental health. So recovery is a move away from the traditional medical model of working where the doctor's the expert to a place where the service user is the expert in their own care. They have choice and control over their care. They develop a meaningful and satisfying life that has meaning to them, and that could be with or without symptoms of mental illness. Services are tailored to meet individual needs. It's basically about managing as best you can, taking out the sick role from the equation, managing as best as you can, meaningful and satisfying life. So the RAP, so Wellness Recovery Action Plan, which is shortened to RAP, which people tend to find amusing. It's developed by American service users, and it's a personalised plan to keep people as well as possible. So basically, the tool gives people control over their condition, helps them manage their condition, and makes sense of their wellness. When they talk about RAP, they always talk about wellness, not illness. It's a really positive tool. It helps us start conversations with others about what helps us, about our experiences, helps us build a picture of what's going on with our loved ones or with ourselves, to build insight. It's developed over time. It's a really flexible tool, and people choose what they put in it and who they share it with. And as James was saying, it's about everyone looking after their mental health. So you don't have to have a mental health condition to develop a RAP. Everyone could do with developing a RAP. So basically, we ask lots of questions. So we ask, what do people like? So what do you like when you're well? What keeps you well? What can your family and your friends and people around you, what can they do to keep you as well as possible? Are you doing these things to keep yourself well? Is there anything stopping you from doing these things? And can we do anything to help you do the things that you need to do to keep yourself as well as possible? Then we ask more questions. About what triggers. So are there any triggers to you becoming less well? Are there any signs that you might be becoming unwell? Are there any really subtle signs that we might be able to pick up on? We ask people to talk about their experiences when they're less well. What are they feeling? What are their thoughts? And then what are their behaviours that they might be less well? And then their behaviours are things that other people might notice. So again, what might other people notice that will tell you that you might be less well? Then we ask yet more questions. We ask about what helps. So if you have any of these triggers, how can these be managed or avoided? If you're starting to become unwell, what can other people do? What can you do to keep yourself as well as possible at maybe a difficult time? Then we ask people, where's the line that you need professional help? And we ask people to identify that. We carry on asking questions. So maybe if someone's in crisis, so despite people's best efforts with the rest of their RAP, they might still go into crisis. So we ask people how they wish to be cared for when they're maybe particularly poorly or not in the best place in their lives. Then quite an important bit is the post-crisis planning. So the bit between when someone's really poorly and getting back to what's normal for them. We ask them, what are the signs that you're less well, you're more well, and the signs that you're coming out of crisis, and basically, how do we get you back to what's normal for you? So that's just a brief overview of the RAP, and now Rod's going to share some of his experiences, because you found the RAP very helpful, didn't you?
I did, yeah. Good morning, everyone. I'm Rod, obviously. Perhaps I'd be best starting off from the beginning for a little insight to myself. I suffered from mental health issues from 9 or 10 year old, and I'm talking about back in the 50s, which was a time that mental health issues weren't recognised, and even at that young age I'd picked up enough knowledge to know that if I'd have said anything about it, I'd have probably been locked in an asylum. I've been unlucky enough to suffer from sort of 5 mental health issues in agoraphobia, OCD, depression, anxiety and panic attacks. So, I've been right to the bottom. And even to a point where I was sat in a chair in a front room and scared to actually get out the chair. And I was watching an Oprah Winfrey show one afternoon, and she had an audience of people with mental health issues, and they suffered from one or two, and I'd suffered from all of them that they were talking about. But she did say at the end of the program, and this was 1995, and I'd suffered for 40 years on my own, getting through these issues, setting up little games for myself. In the agoraphobia thing, I'd sort of have to go to town. I'd set my sights on a lamppost or something 20, 30 yards away, think it will take me 20, 30 steps to get there, 40, 50 steps, count the steps to see how close I could get to what I guessed when I got there, and that took my mind off of the open space. And all these little games, for all the other things I suffered from, I set up myself. And but anyway, Oprah Winfrey said, go to your doctor tomorrow if you suffer from any of these things, because it's now recognised. And I dragged myself out the next day, and from then on I got help from psychiatrists and psychologists over the years, and they've all done me a little bit to help me up the ladder. But the biggest and the best move I ever made was January 2017. They introduced me to group therapy, and that it was a massive step in my recovery, in respect that I was talking to people that knew what I was talking about, and I knew what they were talking about, and we were passing on little things to each other that were helpful. And people, the professionals in this line of the field of mental health, like Natalie here in their group, they asked me, because I was so open about it, mental health illnesses, if I would like to volunteer. And it was something that I jumped at, and they've helped me no end along the way. They've sent me on different courses. I've done the mental health course, the first aid mental health course, and all those things I've learned from have helped me. And from January 2017 to now, I've come from being just a shadow of myself, and really trying to lock myself away, telling awful lies, that I suffered. I know I've got a migraine, I can't go out, and not wanting to tell people what I suffered from, and it was a mental health issue that, block I had. And these guys have helped me get out of that, and that step has led me to be honest. And now I'm proud to say that I'm a volunteer, a peer volunteer, and I'd advise anybody who's got any help in anything like this at all to step up to the plate, because I walk out of there every Wednesday proud that I've helped someone. And in the group, they still help me. They come back with things. I thought, hang on, 60 odd years I've suffered with mental health issues, and I never thought of that, and it's helped me. So, I'm proud of the journey over the last sort of 15 to 18 months I've come on, and I'm now at a better point in my life than I've ever been mental health wise. So, that's my story, and that's what it's all about.
Brilliant, thanks Rod. Yeah. So Rod was talking about his role as a peer support volunteer. So that was the other tool we were going to speak about today. So peer support volunteering is it's when service users volunteer and they use their lived experience to help other people, and they work alongside professionals so that they work in collaboration and services are run together. So peer support volunteering is like the gold standard of recovery focused services. So the fact that we're doing it makes us all super duper and recovery focused. It's something that we were really pleased to start in 2018. So people like Rod's our pioneer with this. Starting. So Rod's been helping us co-facilitate groups. So that's the talking groups. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm proud in respect that I've not only come a long way in 15 to 18 months, but now, I'm in a position where I support. I support like Natalie and Rap in the groups, and I've actually led the group therapy sessions. And that to me is a major, massive step.
Yeah. So like Rod was saying, the idea of service users coming is that they can use their lived experience, so they can use the approach that, like, I've been there, I know what it's like. They can talk about what's helped them. So Rod, you've shared that story about the lamppost. You quite often say that if you go into a group and even if one small thing has helped one person, then it's worth it.
Yeah, if you talk to 1,000 people and it helps one, it's job done.
Yeah. We've had some other service users of ours who are really keen to share some skills. So we've had service users helping us to facilitate craft groups, art groups, things like that. And we encourage anyone, if they've got anything they'd like to share, come and see us and we can see what we can do. We've been working with HR to register our service users as volunteers with HSC. So that in itself can be quite a therapeutic process, because things like doing a DBS check and filling in forms can be quite a daunting task, but we can help people through it. And it seems to be a worthwhile scheme, and we'd like to take it forward. Yeah. Did you want to talk a bit about how RAP's helped you, Ross?
Yeah, well, the RAP has helped me, because every individual gets a folder, and we go through week per week on different subjects, like the triggers and support and post, how we sort of post recovery and what our early warnings, and every week every week that we go through something, there's boxes on a page, and you write in the boxes the things that have helped you or can help you, and I've got mine, and if I feel myself going, then getting a bit low, I go to my RAP folder and I look at the things that helped me to recover. Where in the past I recovered, but it wasn't from things I'd done before. I didn't even think about things I'd done before. This is a reminder, and to make notes is a brilliant idea. Whoever thought it up was an absolute brilliant idea, and that RAP folder is worth a lot to me. And I have to say, before we sort of shut off, that what these guys at the Oberlins gave me back, money cannot buy. Money cannot buy. And I wish there was some way I could repay them, but it would be totally impossible. All I can say is thank you to them. And if you know anybody that's got a problem, send them along, because help is there.
Thanks, Rod. Yeah. So if anyone's interested in finding out more about the RAP, then you can contact myself or anyone at Recovery and Wellbeing, as well as the peer support volunteering. Again, if you've got any questions, come and see us. We're based at the Recovery and Wellbeing Service at the Oberlins. Also, there's a website, get.gg, so Get Self-Help. The RAP document is on there, so you can go on there and go onto downloadable documents and download the content and have a go at filling one out yourself. Yeah. Thank you.